Okay, boys, we have in the database today the new exotics as well as some pinnacle weapons, and that's pretty much all I want to go over in this video because I don't want this thing to be too long. So let's dive into the armor pieces. First up, we have Severance Enclosure. This is a Titan exotic chest piece, and it comes with the exotic perk Spheromatic Trigger. Defeating a Guardian with a melee attack or a combatant with a finisher unleashes a damaging explosion. Oh my lord. There is so many melees this can do good with, but obviously the basic one, Shoulder Charge. You already get an AoE explosion from Seismic Strike. Combine that with this exotic, I don't know, boys. It could be nasty. Moving on, we've got the Bombardiers. Bombarders? Parting Gift is the exotic perk. It states that dodging leaves behind an explosive that detonates after a short delay, damaging enemies around it. My lord, it's all about explosions this season. I don't know, fellas. A lot of synergy here. It all comes down to like how much damage those explosions do. Same with like Severance. Both of these exotics, that's really what it's going to be dependent on. Now moving on, we have the Promethean Spur. Prometheum Spur. Boys, I'm not going to lie. I love new content, but god dog it, man. I struggle. Embers of Light is the exotic perk here. While Daybreak is active, defeating combatants or guardians creates a healing and empowering rift at their location. Okay, so wherever you kill the guardian or combatant, it drops healing and empowering rifts. Is it random? That's interesting. Can you choose which one you spawn? Either way it goes, not bad, I guess. You can keep your team alive a little more. Very situational. Now, moving on to the exotic weapons. We have Bastion. This is actually an exotic kinetic fusion rifle. Oh my god. It comes with the exotic perk Saint's Fist. Charged to fire 3 spreads of kinetic slugs. Now, its trait is Breakthrough. A portion of this weapon's damage bypasses elemental shields. Fellas, we have a fusion rifle in the kinetic slot. That's huge. Now, the archetype it's in, it's a 740 charge time fusion. What is that, the same as something like main ingredient? So it's not the highest impact, but honestly, I love that sweet spot, especially for PvE. Now, again, it states that it charges to fire 3 spreads of kinetic slugs. I don't know, guys. I don't even know what that means. We'll have to play with it, boys. That's all I could say. It looks nasty. Moving on to Symmetry. This is the exotic energy scout rifle. And man, is this thing sexy. It comes with the exotic perk Revolution. The weapon fires in full auto. Hold reload to swap to an Arc Seeker mode. Arc Seekers track toward enemies you target. Now, the trait is Dynamic Charge. Precision hits build up that dynamic charge. And swapping to Arc Seeker mode increases damage and partially reloads the magazine based on the number of charges. So right off the bat, this is a 260 round per minute scout. We thought it was last week. Looks to have pretty decent stats, good recoil direction, still has the intrinsic full auto that most 260s have. I guess the big question is how fast can we build up something like dynamic charge, and how much damage does Arc Seekers do? We saw it one shot in PvP. Oh, it could be nasty, boys. Oh my lord, it could be so nasty. Moving on to Devil's Run. This is the exotic sidearm that we saw last week. It's in the energy slot, and it comes with the exotic perk Close the Gap. States variable trigger, press and release to fire individual shots, hold to charge up a high power, staggering laser, specifically strong against unstoppable champions. That also comes with the trait Pyrogenesis. Fully charged the laser refills the magazine from reserves. What is this? It says it's a sidearm, boys, but it's got a charge time of 1,000. Is this a fusion rifle, but in sidearm form? That's what it looks like, guys. It looks like a fusion rifle. It's almost like a different look at like Drake's Promise. Like, what if Drake's Promise was Pocket Infinity? What if this is Pocket Infinity 2.0, but in sidearm form? That's like Bungie's way of like balancing it. Doesn't quite have the range that like a really high impact fusion would have, but it's got the burst damage to match it. You just got to be close to your targets. Oh my god. I've got to get these, boys. All right, moving on. We now have the pinnacle weapons, or wait, let me back it up here. Ritual weapons for the season. Okay, so first we have the legendary energy shotgun from Gambit. It is a 55 round per minute shotgun, putting it into the aggressive frame archetype, and it comes with small bore for that increase in range and stability, extended mag for that increase in magazine size, overflow as its first trait with feeding frenzy right underneath it, and next to it, it has shield disorient as well as 1-2 punch. So overflow is not a common perk. I mean, we don't see overflow on many weapons. It's really interesting. I'm actually curious about if we have an activity which is like a bunch of shield shielded enemies if you just ran in there with shield disorient, shooting enemies with like void shields. Now, feeding frenzy and 1-2 punch together, not a good one, simply because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna kill that enemy with your punch. So I'm almost wanting to go the direction of like overflow, which is gonna greatly boost our magazine size. Normally it doubles it, and it's saying the mag size here is 4. I don't know if that's the default mag size or not. Probably gonna get a boost there with extended mag. So you know, you can look at upwards of like 8 to 10 rounds with overflow, which means you can continuously keep chaining this with something like 1-2 punch. Overall, not a bad looking shotgun, and again, intrinsically being an aggressive frame shotgun, you get an increase in rate of fire after a kill. So like I said, you can go the direction of feeding frenzy and extended mag and just run through there and kill with the shotgun itself, and simultaneously have a shotgun that can reload extremely fast. Now moving on to the Vanguard Ritual Weapon Buzzard. This is a legendary kinetic sidearm. It shoots at 300 rounds per minute, putting it in the adaptive frame archetype, and this almost looks like a pinnacle weapon, as its perk down there is something we haven't seen before. It comes with extended barrel, alloy magazine for that faster reload when you empty the mag, and the first trait here is Outlaw. Precision kills greatly decrease reload time. Now underneath it is 4 times the charm. Rapidly landing precision hits will return 2 rounds to the magazine, and next to it is a trait we haven't seen before called Osmosis. Using your grenade ability changes this weapon's damage type to match your subclass until you stow it. Alright. Now this is a kinetic sidearm, so unfortunately for match game scenarios, I mean, I guess you can rock like an energy weapon, say that's arc, and if you're rocking like a solar subclass, you essentially have the ability there to have a weapon that can shoot solar. Probably going to be pretty beneficial in those match game scenarios. Now, are you going to get the damage reduction that energy weapons have in comparison to its kinetic counterparts? We'll just have to test that one out. Now, underneath it is the ability Swashbuckler, which states that the weapon gains increased damage from either melee kills and kills with the weapon. Now, that's actually pretty cool, especially being on a sidearm. Now, when it comes to all sidearms, it really just boils down to them individually, like how they perform in terms of consistency. I mean, this one seems to have pretty decent stats, but even some of the sidearms that have really good stats can feel like crap in your hands. Now, sidearms in general did get a buff in this Sandbox, as Bungie just increased target acquisition for them across the board. So that's actually pretty interesting. It might actually give Buzzard here a chance. Now, moving on to the Crucible Ritual Weapon Komodo 4FR. This is a legendary power linear fusion rifle. Interesting. I would have never expected a linear fusion to be the Crucible Ritual Weapon. Now, it's in the precision frame archetype, and it's got a 533 charge time. Now, it comes with polygonal rifling, accelerated coils, which does drop down that charge time, and the first trait here is no distractions. Aiming this weapon for a short period reduces flinch. Pretty sure the only weapons that can get no distraction, what do we have? Snipers for the most part. I don't know if we've seen one on a linear fusion. Now, it also comes with moving target underneath it for that increase in target acquisition, as well as increased movement speed while aiming down sights. Next to it is Eye of the Storm, where the weapon becomes more accurate and boosts handling as your health gets lower. And then underneath it is Box Breathing. Aiming this weapon for a short period without firing grants bonus range and precision damage that resets after firing or exiting zone. Interesting combinations here. You can honestly go many directions with this. You can go no distractions, Eye of the Storm, and simply have a weapon that as you're taking incoming fire, it just doesn't move and just gets more and more accurate the lower your health gets. At the same time, you can go something like Moving Target, Eye of the Storm, if you plan on moving a bunch. I really like Moving Target. It's a fantastic perk on snipers. But then you also have Box Breathing. Now, Box Breathing only increases precision damage. It's not like you're going to sit there and body shot people with this linear fusion. This seems to be more gauged at PvE. Whether Box Breathing is present on his linear fusion or not, I'm pretty sure you can already shut down supers. But guys, to be honest with you though, I haven't used linears in so long, man. Now, there was a linear fusion rifle buff across the board. They got an increase in precision damage by plus 20%, and they significantly increased target acquisition at close to medium ranges, which makes sense here as this is directly going to benefit Komodo. So guys, those are your exotic weapons, armors, as well as pinnacle weapons. Got some randomly rolled weapons. We'll probably make a separate video on those. I want to see how those are split. I'm not even sure what's available now and what's to become available. So before I make a video showcasing all of those, I want to see exactly where each one of these weapons are at, how to get them, and then we'll talk about them. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.